Welcome back, people, on our relationship segments this morning. We have quite an interesting topic. Ladies, brace up. Today's topic is ways to get rid of the other woman. And doing justice to that is Amaka Chika-Mbonu. She's a motivational speaker, certified counselor with a special interest in couples counseling. She's also certified in cognitive behavioral therapy. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Please, you have a book on this.
Yes,
What were you thinking
well,
when you came up with these steps to getting rid of the other woman?
49 ways to get rid of the other woman. Yeah, well, generally because the issue of the other woman is the bane of a lot of
relationships.
Women's existence. It's like a pandemic or an endemic pandemic. You know, it's just all over the place. So I just thought it was something one should address.
Okay.
You know, because it causes quite a bit of, I mean, as a counselor, my capacity as a counselor, 99.9% of the cases I deal with have to do with infidelity. And I know women cheat too, because people always say, but women cheat too. Great, but I'm talking about the men.
Okay. So, of course, we will talk about the men maybe next week, but let's focus on the women today. Now, if you are a woman watching right now is faced with this situation, how do you expect her to handle it? What's the best way to handle it?
Well, it's a very painful and humiliating experience. So the initial reaction is always kind of shock, horror, want to leave, not knowing if you're going to stay. But the advice I would give is you have to calm down. And that seems easy to say because it's not easy to do. But the truth is, the first thing you have to do is to try and take emotion out of it so that any decision that you're making, you're not making it from a place of emotion. And then you shoot yourself in the foot or take, in Nigerian parlance, take Panadol for somebody else's headache. So you kind of have to calm down and look at what your options are. Okay.
Options. There's so many questions that I want to ask because we've seen scenarios where in a lot of the situations where the woman, she takes herself away from her feelings away from the situation, and then she's focused too much on the other woman, or things that she could have done better, or what it was that the woman did that made her partner go after the other woman. So in this situation, how do you get rid of the other woman? First, from the partner's point of view.
From the partner cheating? The cheating?
Yes, from
the cheater. The cheatee.
Yes.
Wait, the cheatee is the person being cheated.
Or the cheater.
No, the cheater, the person who cheated, who betrayed. Well, the first thing I want to say is, yes, sometimes it may be something the person in the wife, let's use the wife for want of a better word, did or did not do. But I really like to look at it from that point of view because one has options. You don't, just because your partner did something doesn't mean you should, doesn't give you the license to misbehave.
Okay.
So that's the first thing I'm gonna say. Some people, and we're talking about men in this case, just have a wandering spirit and are just unable to do, keep themselves together. That's one thing. But how do you get rid of the other woman? I don't believe you shouldn't confront her. That's one.
We've seen cases where
where we've seen cases where but that wouldn't really be the first point of call. What I'll say is, like you said, you need to look at what are the things that happened in your relationship, and not a blame game, but what do you think has caused this particular situation, so you can address those things, and not necessarily in this case possibly the wife or let's use the wife for want of a better word. Not necessarily something she's done, but is there anything in this other person, the husband for want of a better word in this case, is there something the matter with him that has to be addressed, and do you want to address it? Because I really like to look at it from the point of view of what the person who was cheated on has done, because that does not give the other person
the
license
right
to misbehave. If there's a problem, we work on it, or not, we decide that we're not working on it, and then we're parted. But you can't really eat your cake and have it. So if there's something wrong there, you need to address it. So I like to kind of look at it from the point of the other partner. The person who cheated, what is happening with them that causes them to think that this is the way out? And that thing has to be addressed.
Okay, so what if the partner doesn't want to address it?
Wow, then there's another conversation we need to be having, and that's where a lot of us talking about, let's use Nigerian women, and I'm using these terms just because, for want of a better term, you have to confront it. Because, you see, once this happens, it's either the person wants to
leave the relationship,
you want to stay there, but you've left, or you actually kind of want to see if you can help this person with their problem. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so now you've given me another perspective to this here, because there's a physical way of getting rid of this other woman, and there's also the mental aspect of it. And I'm saying from the cheater's perspective. Yeah, so you, the wife, can do everything that you can do, but he has not mentally gotten over that woman. So what do you do in this kind of situation?
First and foremost, getting rid of the other woman starts with the kind of man you give the privilege of spending the rest of his life with you. You have to really look at the person you decide to be with, you allow to be with you. That's where it's going to start. But as a married woman inside your home, if the person does not want to address it, again, I always tell women, and I have this talk I do about it, you have 3 options. Leave outrightly, and that might not always be an immediate option, and I don't think it should be done in the heat of the moment. Number 2, stay there, but you've, to all intents and purposes, left, and, you know, that's another thing. And then the third thing is to try and work it out if the other person is willing to do so. It's a topic that we can never, can't exhaust in this short time.
We have seen obsessive women. Yeah, in cases where this woman is obsessed with your partner, where he's letting her go, but she's not letting him go.
You know, the way I look at it, and that's how I addressed it in my book, if somebody comes into your home and is threatening your home, what would you do to get rid of the person? If somebody were an intruder breaks into your home, even if your husband gave her the key, what would you do? Somebody's coming into your home, threatening your home, threatening your children, because that's really what it is, threatening your livelihood. What would you do? Would you, I mean, if she's attacking you, would you take some and blow her brains out?
Yeah, what are you advising? What would you advise that she does in this kind of situation? What am I going to do?
Quickly, I believe that if somebody is coming into your home, you have to protect it. I'll leave it at that.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, it just makes sense.
Okay, now that's something to think about. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh my God. I mean, someone watching this right now is like, wow. Okay. Well, we'll continue this conversation next week, of course, because like you said, well, it's not only men that cheat. We also have women that cheat as well. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Interesting conversation there with Amaka Chika-Mbonu on ways to get rid of the other woman. Have questions? Well, reach out on our social media platforms at TVC Connect, and of course, as well, we have